it's a great pleasure to be here at this joint Clare and Peterhouse occasion, and I think it's a really fascinating moment, you know, in our lives to be thinking about this Prime Minister who has dominated for undergraduates here all your political lives, and we know that this life is now, the political life is coming to an end, and shortly. Probably. He is very keen to be there at the G8 meeting in June 2007, and there is a high-profile charity event planned for Chequers in July 2007. And he'd quite like to be there in September too. and I think that we should not totally dismiss the notion that something could happen in the world, a breakthrough, the chance of a breakthrough in Iraq, or with peace in the Middle East, or perhaps a terror bomb on the underground in London or in Cambridge. And you all heard Eliza Manning Buller's worries, pronouncements about the risk of chemical or biological and possibly even dirty bombs. It's possible. It's certainly possible that this will happen. And would he go if there was a bomb in May or even March? He could well argue either because of events abroad or because of events at home that he really must stay. You know, it's the hardest thing as Prime Minister to go. They all, if not love it, they hate the idea of leaving, partly because they dread their successors, what their successors might do and might say. Their successors might be no good and undo their achievements and legacies, or worse still, their successors might be good and show them up. And it's very hard, and that's why all Prime Ministers have left number 10 in tears or in upset, some form of upset. The only Prime Minister who, as I'm sure you know, who didn't leave under duress was Harold Wilson, the Labour Prime Minister, who announced his departure in March 1976. But we now know that Harold Wilson was drinking much too much and was incapable of serving and fulfilling his duties as Prime Minister of Great Britain. And the civil service were eager to encourage his exit. So it wasn't, that's always cited as the one example of somebody who left totally at the moment of their own volition. It isn't entirely true. Tony Blair, but we think he will go. And he really has to go because I'm planning this book. And I'm going to be very upset and very disturbed if he doesn't go in about June, because it's going to, frankly, make a big muck-up of everything, and I think it would be extremely unfair of him. Because I've been tracking him. I don't know why, you know, I don't know why I spent so much time on him, but why I like speaking very much is because I learn so much, which is why I'm only going to talk for about another 20 minutes, and then let's have really searching questions about, you know, about what's made him tick. What has he tried to do, and what might his legacy be, and any other questions at all. I feel I've lived with this man for far too long. I was going to stop when I was John Major's authorised biographer, which was a different kind of relationship than I have with Blair. As an authorised biographer, you're with the bloke all the time, you can have access to absolutely everybody. Being unauthorised is in fact very liberating, because just about everybody sees you, you don't feel the same sense of obligation. But the big difference, of course, is that whereas John Major was not a powerful figure, Tony Blair is, apart from Mrs. Thatcher, one can think of no other British Prime Minister since 1945, since the end of the Second World War, who has anything like his mark and impression on the world. And indeed, in some ways, you can say that Tony Blair has made a bigger and more enduring impact on the world than Mrs. Thatcher, and therefore than any Prime Minister in the last 60 years. He is, by any account, a very, very major British figure and a very major world figure, whether you like his policies or not. You cannot deny that. And therefore, as we come into this sort of glide down period in his career, it's really good to be thinking about these questions. What's made him tick? Why has he done it? What kind of legacy might he have? And I think when trying to assess him, I think we can look at him to try to make it manageable in three areas. And the first of those is Tony Blair's impact as an electoral figure and a political figure. And here he has won these three general elections. Only Mrs. Thatcher in the 20th century could contest that with big majorities. Wilson won 4, but without working majorities. So Mrs. Thatcher and Tony Blair, lots of parallels, but for a Labour Prime Minister, utterly unheard of. There were only 2 other significant Labour victories in its history since 1900. One in 1945, that big landslide won by Clement Attlee with 393 Labour seats, and the other in 1966, when Harold Wilson won a landslide of some 100. Those were the only 2 landslides, and they were not followed. Wilson lost the following election after 66, lost it in 1970. Attlee only just scraped the election in 1950 with a 6 majority. So although there have been 2 precedents for landslide victories, neither of the earlier leaders went on to win good victories after that. So, I mean, we can see Tony Blair as a massive figure in Labour history, a massive figure in British political history, and he's also remodelled the Labour Party. The Labour Party is utterly different now, and the fact that Gordon and Brown is going to emulate much of what he has done in terms of style, in terms of positioning the party, is, I think, hugely significant. And it will be Gordon Brown, probably. So that new Labour takeover is something that is very significant, but also he's remodelled the Conservative Party. The fact that you have a Conservative Party leader who thinks that it's cool to hug hoodies, and why not? I mean, let's face it, I mean, if they're there, why not hug them? Has anybody here hugged a hoodie? Knowing. And I can recommend it. And the fact that the Conservative leader is talking about the environment, and the Conservative leader is matching the spending plans of the Labour government. The fact that he's talking about protecting the NHS, protecting state schools. The fact he's come out and says he will not send his own children to an independent private school. The fact that Labour strategists, number 10, are worried that at the next election Cameron's going to pick up votes on the left. Number 10 also think that Ming Campbell, the Liberal leader, won't survive to the next, or think he might not survive till the next general election, and that he'll also be replaced by a Blair clone like Cameron.